Isaac, thanks for being with us this morning, man. Congratulations on finally getting in. What was your initial reaction when you heard the knock on the door?
Hey, guys, thanks for having me on, man. To be honest, man, I was very excited. You have that moment where your heart kind of jumps into your stomach once you get the knock. But I was super excited. My family was super excited. All the fans back in St. Louis, Los Angeles, we were excited about it, man. And I can't wait till August.
And the journey of this is always interesting for me. Everyone's Hall of Fame story is different, but when you know you're up for it and you don't get in, how much sweeter does it make that moment to know you've been on the other side of that phone call door knocking situation?
Well, I was taking coaching from other guys who were in a similar situation, who thought they were deserving, was on the ballot, was a finalist, and didn't get the knock. But they came back and told me, once you get the knock, you forget about all of that. I mean, it was just that. It was the frustration left, the disappointment, didn't remember it, but just having the knock, man, and just knowing that people have decided to really, really, really just push your greatness or just see everything that you've done on the field and your body of work. It was honor being enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, man. I was just super excited.
Isaac Bruce with us. Isaac, I have to ask, where are you right now? Because we hear birds chirping. It sounds like you're at the Masters or something at Augusta National. Where are you right now?
Welcome to South Florida, man. I'm outside right now, and I'm orchestrating my children getting to school this morning.
Oh, good. Listen, I know I've been there, done that, my friend. I know that is indeed something that requires a conductor's tempo to get done. So we appreciate you joining us while that's happening. It's actually a big year for the Hall of Fame in St. Louis because not only is Isaac Bruce going in, but Steve Atwater, a longtime Denver Bronco, played his high school ball at Lutheran North in St. Louis. And Isaac, what does it mean for you to go into the Hall of Fame? And now Kurt Warner is there, Marshall Faulk is there, and we're seeing so many members of what was considered the greatest show on turf, that explosive offense all those years in St. Louis, finally be recognized for what you were able to do on the field.
Well, it means a lot, man. It just kind of makes you, have two thoughts. One of those thoughts is that we probably should have won more Super Bowls. And just once again, just thinking about the great talent that we had in the huddle at the same time. I mean, from Big O, who made it possible that we could have 7-step drops, 5-step drops, and everything we wanted to do was really centered around him, to Marshall, to Kurt, to Torry. It's just a special group of guys that were all in St. Louis in one huddle at the same time. So it made it very special what we did on offense. And we still see a lot of offenses trying to mimic what we did, what we put together.
Isaac Bruce was a 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver and won a Super Bowl with the Rams. And Player Resume is brought to you by Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Isaac, we hear the speeches every year at the Hall of Fame, and no one ever gets there alone is generally what we tend to learn. Was there someone or a group of people that you thought of right away when you got the news, like, I'm so thankful for this person and what they were able to help me do to get to this?
You know what? Two people, man. First of all, besides my parents, those were the first people that really crossed my mind. The hard work that they did raising 15 children in South Florida, that was great. As far as football is concerned, there's two people, Coach Mike Martz and Coach Henry Ellett. They did a tremendous job preparing and helping me to develop into the player that I was. And, Coach Ellett, he has a resume that's worthy of Hall considerations as well. But just the knowledge that Coach Martz brought to the table, his confidence, his ability to manipulate defenses and to help us succeed. Those guys right there started flashing through my mind, along with a long list of my teammates throughout my journey from each stopping point, from college to the pros. And I was very grateful for those guys and made sure I gave them all a phone call. And we're going to have a huge party in Canton this summer.
Isaac Bruce with us, Hall of Famer in the class of 2020. I think we need to go back and just recognize your parents again. Did you say 15 children in your parents' household?
Absolutely, 15, man. So, they did a great job. I mean, my dad didn't finish up to a 6th grade education. He was a business owner in South Florida, a roofer for well over 40 years, and did a tremendous job raising us all.
That is my. I had 2, and my hands were full. So hats off to your parents more than anything else, what we've learned this morning.
Oh, absolutely, man. The greatest parents in the world, Jesse and Caretha Bruce.
What's the biggest thing you learned growing up with 14 siblings in a house?
Hard work, faith, work ethic. They are very important. Those were things that were imparted unto us from our parents. And just to be encouraging of each other, man, always having each other's back, and that we had our own teams when we needed it. And to this day, we're very supportive of each other, and we look out for each other big time.
Well, listen, you have to with that many siblings, and you guys, as the Rams, did that as a team, as Isaac Bruce is with us. And now that you're in the hall and you have your induction ceremony coming up in August, and of course ESPN will be there, and I'll be there, be excited to be a part of it, you have a megaphone. And you mentioned a name that is not yet in the Hall of Fame, and that is your fellow wide receiver in St. Louis, Torry Holt. So you have the opportunity now and the platform to make the case for one of the rarest things, really, in all of football and sports in general, Isaac, is to have two players on the same team that played the same position go into the Hall of Fame at some point. Lynn Swann and John Stallworth of the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s come to mind. What would you say to those people who were on the fence maybe about Torry Holt and whether or not he was a big game Torry, as he was called to, as being in the Hall of Fame? What would you say to those voters who needed to be swayed?
Well, I tell you what, every team in the National Football League is looking for two guys that can really command the defense or command a double team. We were fortunate to have that. For a lot of years, I was a solo show for a while in St. Louis. Once we drafted Torry Holt, I pretty much knew right from the moment he got in St. Louis that he'd be a phenomenal football player. The guy came in, he was very knowledgeable of the game. He was coachable. He worked very hard. And, you know, my message to the voters would be, look at this guy's career from a standpoint of who he had around him and what he was still able to do.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.